If I had to start over today as a digital marketer, having already spent over 100 million on paid social and been doing this for over a decade, what I would do instead is I would focus on data, communication, time management, and then sprinkle little goals and patience on top. So those 5 things would be the things that I'd focus on, because ultimately, think about it. When you first started school, you remember trying to find where your classes were and like where you'd sit at lunch, and remember you hear all the bells ringing, and like if you were lucky, somebody would come alongside and sit with you, help you find where to go to class, let you know where to hang out and where not to hang out, which bathrooms to use, like all of it. I'm going to do that for your digital marketing career, so buckle up, get your book bag, and let's go. Ultimately, time is the greatest asset that we all possess. So once it's used, you can't get it back. We all know that, but do we really know that? So I'm going to show you in this video today how I would invest my time if I had a second chance. If I were to lose everything today and start over and be wiped clean of everything I know, this is how I'd do it. First off, I'd focus on data. I would learn to read the scoreboard. Let's go ahead and think about it for a second. If you were in a game playing basketball and you shot a shot, you'd look at the scoreboard and see what the score was. When it really counts, you want to look over at the scoreboard and understand how much do I need to put in to reach where I'm trying to go. That is what data is. That is specifically what Google Analytics is. I have a whole nother video on Google Analytics, and I talk a lot about Google Analytics being the scoreboard of marketing, because a lot of times marketers just know how to market in their channel, or they get a report from the data team, but they don't actually know how to use Google Analytics. And I believe it's truly so important to understand how to use it and use it well. Next is communication. So communication, this is where I learned how to explain the why behind the what and the how this happened. So think of in high school, I don't know why I'm using so many high school analogies today, but this is where when this teacher would say, in any grade actually, show your work. Show your work. That's how we know that you know the subject, is when you show your work. Being able to explain the why is like showing your work to your client. It builds trust. It builds camaraderie, and ultimately it builds your ability to earn more because you can explain things to them, and it builds your confidence. It makes every moment at work better because you're confident as you're speaking to them. Next up is going to be time management. Time management, this is where I would learn how to plan my week so that I can maximize the time that I have and not overcommit to things. Ultimately, everything I've done that has been a bad thing when it comes to not finishing a project on time or not doing something that I said I was going to do, it boils down to time management. I only have 168 hours in the week and 40 hours usually in the work week. And if I use those 40 hours or don't plan those 40 hours out well, I will ultimately go down these rabbit holes and ultimately do whatever somebody else has on their agenda for me versus doing what I know is in my best interest to do for other people with that 40 hours. Now, maybe you work 60 hours, maybe you work 80 hours and you're a hustler. Whatever you want to do, ultimately you just have a finite amount of time. And if you don't plan that time out, it kind of goes back to the data piece. You're looking at the money or the resources you have, and you're not making decisions based on that available resource that you have. You're doing the same with your time. You're just not going to be a great marketer. And if I had to start over today, I would really make sure to look at my data, look at my communication, and look at my time management. Maximize all 3 of those. Then it comes to the goals and patience. So when we look at the goals piece, I'm thinking of starting with clear goals for myself, for my clients, and ultimately this boils down to proper expectations. Proper expectations for what I can expect to achieve based on the work that I'm putting in, and proper expectations for what the client can expect to get based on the commitment that we have together, the partnership that we have together, and the fundamentals of their business. If we have a client that comes in and you're working with the client as a digital marketer, I wish somebody told me this in the beginning. Like, what client's expectations doesn't mean that actually has to happen. It means they would like that to happen, and it's your job as a digital marketer to help them understand if this is even possible. If the client comes to you and says, I'd like to get a 10 ROAS because the last agency promised me I could, they never could get it, but they told me it's possible. Well, it's your job to look at their business, look at their existing history, and say, for instance, if they have a $100 average order value and on average it costs $50 to get a customer, that's a 2x ROAS based on their history of their business. It costs $50 to get a customer. Their average order value is $100. The data does not lie. I've heard the saying before, in God we trust, all others must bring data. You need to be able to explain that to people, and you need to be able to break that, break the expectations they may have and show them the data and say, look, I really think that this is a great idea, but let's go ahead and let's see if this is possible. Like, let's actually look at the data. Let's look at your AOV and then give them ways. How do we improve this? How do we improve your conversion rate? How do we improve your cost per outbound click? How do we improve your average order value? How do we improve these things so that this can become a reality for you? Because we want nothing more than to help you. And if you're the person to actually give them the honest truth backed by data, you're going to build trust. And ultimately, last thing is patience. You need to have patience because this isn't going to happen overnight. There's so many things to learn when it comes to marketing that you're going to have to learn little by little over time. And you just must be patient in order to do that. I wish somebody had told me that in the beginning. Going into this, just wrapping everything I shared about data and communication and time management and goals with patience. Having patience is going to be key in not getting too ahead of yourself, not throwing in the towel too soon. Even when you feel like you're not making any progress, or you feel like it's just so involved to be a marketer, like maybe should be something else. Like having that patience, having the goals to hold yourself in a line to, it's going to make sure that you become the best marketer that you can be. I want to hear what you would do if you had to start over today. And if you're starting now, I want to hear which one of these, is it data, communication, time management, goals, or patience, that you were committing to as you begin your marketing journey. I wish you all the best. My name is Joe Chavez, your unofficial digital marketing career coach, helping you start and grow your digital marketing career. Signing out. Peace. Go ahead and check out one of these, by the way, if you have any spare time right now.